Hello and welcome to the NEC for the Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show. And as you can tell by the cars arranged around me, Classic Car Weekly has a stand. We'll be here for all 3 days. We've got James's Polo, we've got Chris's Mini, and we've got my ever broken MG, but that is not really what we're here for this video. We're here on setup day, so we're going to go for a quick mooch to have a look and find some of the interesting bits that you should have a look out for if you're coming along to the show this weekend. Some of the more exciting classics, the interesting restorations, and generally speaking the bits that you ought not to miss. So we're going to go for a quick wander around while everything is getting put together and bring you some behind the scenes exclusives as the show gets set up. Onwards.
Yeah, so we start our tour of the show with the MG Owners Club and this 1964 MGB, which on first glance might look like any normal MGB, but actually there are some telltale signs that this is not quite your normal stock MG. Starting with these lovely Dunlop alloys and the Dunlop tyres, but beneath the bonnet sits the heart of a very different animal. This underneath here is a 2.4 litre version of Jaguar's XK Straight 6, and when you look at the bonnet, it has a bonnet bulge which has been taken from a Mark 1E type. This underneath is a Jaguar based MGB, and it was found by its current owner, and he took on the idea from a previous owner of creating a Jaguar-engined MG. It's its first appearance at the show. It looks absolutely stunning. I would encourage you to come along to Hall 5 and have a look at the MG Owners Club. It's a wonderful creation.
And here we are on the Pride of Ownership stand, and this 2001 Ford Puma is my favourite car here. I had a Ford Puma, but not one like this. This is a Puma Thunder, which was one of the last ones to roll off the production line at Ford. It has all the extra bits and pieces that they could throw onto a car, from a gorgeous midnight black interior to a 6 CD changer inside, the 1.7 engine that was tuned by Yamaha. It's absolutely gorgeous. The owner of this car had been looking for a Ford Puma Thunder for a while, found this one with only 60,000 miles on the clock. Before he could buy it, someone else snapped it up. A year later, he's got in touch with the owner, who happened to be selling it, and sold it to him for about £800 off the asking price. So he was very happy. Interestingly, the owner of the Ford Puma happened to be the restorer of the Capris from the TV series The Professionals. So it had gone through a really nice bit of work before it came into the hands of Jason Craze, who now owns it today and is displaying it on stand here at the NEC.
I'm on the Maestro and Montego Owners Club in Hall 5 here at the NEC, and this particular Maestro van caught my eye even before the show started, because this was the car I followed into the halls earlier today, and it's got a really interesting story behind it. It's not, as you might think, a genuine police van, but actually the story behind this is actually a lot more interesting. This Maestro van with the 2 litre Perkins diesel engine was originally registered in 1994, and the original owner was Land Rover. Land Rover, as some of you may know, used Maestro vans when they were developing the Freelander, so I'd be really interested to know whether their engineers used this very van to develop the off-roader that was launched in 1997. This van's owner was looking for a genuine police example, but they're like rocking horse poo nowadays. So he used this example, spent 5 years creating this wonderful restoration, and he used photographs of genuine police vans from the 1990s that he'd amassed as the basis for getting the visuals just so. It's a really interesting creation, one of the most eye-catching cars here in Hall 5, and it's got a really interesting story behind it. So come along, have a look in Hall 5 at the Maestro Montego Owners Club. And if you think this Maestro van is a particularly arresting sight, this is one of the cars that you can take away from the show as well, because you can actually buy this in 143 miniature form. So this is one of the stars of the show you can actually buy as a model. This for me is one of my favourites of the show already.
If you aren't coming along to the restoration show but are picking up the issue that we'll be producing off the back of it with all of our live coverage, you'll notice that we have driven this, a star of the show. This is Snowdrop, a lovely, very early production 1995 MGF. And it's here on the MGF register stand as they're celebrating 30 years of these fantastic little sports cars. And this car has been subjected to a very detailed restoration by its owners. And well, it drives fantastically, I'll give you that much. Obviously, you can read my driving thoughts on it in the next issue of Classic Car Weekly, but if you're coming along, have a look at it, have a chat with Rob and Jane, because they are wonderful owners, and the work they put into making this car, as stunning as it is worth hearing about.
Hello, and here we are in the barn find section, and I'm standing next to a 1954 Austin A30. Now this is the true definition of a barn find. It hasn't seen light of day for 50 years, and it was last used on a holiday through Europe in 1975. The current owners aren't sure whether they're going to put it back on the road or keep it as it is, because it's effectively a time capsule. Everything is exactly how it was when it went on that European adventure in 1975. For me, I would keep this exactly how it is. There's plenty of Austin A30s out there that look glorious, but one that hasn't, been touched in 50 years, for half a century, it literally is a time capsule. And looking in it now, there's even stickers that they put in the window from that European holiday. I'd keep it exactly how it is. It's gorgeous.
Now, we've snuck into the Classic Car Auctions lot, and this is jammed with some fantastic classics, but the one that has quite obviously jumped out to me is, no surprises, something American. It is a lovely 1966 Ford Mustang 289 V8. We've got the automatic gearbox. I think this is a C4, it's the 4-speed, and of course, notchback. This body style is really coming into its own at the moment, and estimated at, I think we're 18 to 22,000 pounds. Given the condition of this car, that is an absolute steal, and will probably be one to keep an eye on as it goes across the block over the weekend. There are hundreds of cars littered in here. Everything from, like I said, Americana. Behind the camera, we've got Ford Focuses and Hot Fords of all variations. Loads of Porsches, MGs down there. There is a fleet of Land Rovers over that way. There is everything you could ever think about bidding on in this auction. So plenty to keep an eye on, and even some high-end exotica. There is a McLaren Mercedes SLR down there as well, which is quite tasty and something that's becoming a bit of a classic in its own right now that McLaren have started doing restorations and updates to them, which is very interesting. It's a car of my childhood. Why is that now a classic? I'm not that old, I don't think.
So if you're heading down to the Practical Classics Classic Car Restoration Show this weekend, swing by the Classic Car Weekly stand in Hall 5.